Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week. Again, an international break is sort of in between all the progress that we had against Hibs. Something in the middle here to ruin our couple of weeks, but we've tried our best to think of something to incorporate in today's episode, and that will be rating the full squad so far this season out of 10, because if we'd done it last season, it would have been easy to just give everybody high scores across the board. That wouldn't be much variety in it, but there's been a lot said this season about a lot of players, so it'll be interesting to see how we feel players have done so far this season. We'll obviously talk about the Hearts game coming up at the weekend as well, because that can't come quick enough now. But firstly, we'll start off with the international break. Never a happy experience. It's always a slog, but it's nice to see our players actually performing for their countries. First off, Yanis Hadji just leaving Rudiger for dead, and what a solo goal it was to put Romania 1-0 up. Sadly losing the game, but again impressing every single time you see him, Hadji, and it's going to just put millions on his price tag now.
The dollars, big euros, big stacks. That's what's coming with Yanis. All right, this guy, top notch. Even though they lost the game, the only thing people are talking about is that goal. Pepsi man. He's a Walker's man. Was he Gillette and all? He's got all the sponsors coming on, Jack. Begs the question, why was he not modelling every single top? Why is there not billboards with Yanis on in the city? Come on, the more fans we would get.
I know he should be like the front runner, just to model everything that we do. Because I mean, how much traction are you going to get for that? But as I said, it's going to put a couple more million on his value. It's going against a team like Germany as well, that had a really good side out. Rudiger, one of probably the better centre halves in the Prem as well, and he's done that. I mean, I'm happy for the guy scoring his country, because we know where he was maybe last year, where he just demoted himself down to the younger squad because he didn't feel that he could handle the main squad at the time. He's there, he's scoring goals against a World Cup winning team. So props to Hadji, and hopefully he can take it into the weekend for us. And next one then, Leon Balogun. Obviously, he scored as well. I mean, ice cool. Like, I was expecting Leon Balogun scored against for Nigeria, that it's going to be a header or something like that. I mean, the way he takes it down and controls it, like, I seen a tweet, it was like, he's definitely been getting taught off Jermaine Defoe, right? Where I finished like that.
Listen, I finished like that. We need to be using that, I think, for the rest of the season. Balls into the box, try and get it on his feet. What a strike that was, honestly. Did he not come off injured? Did he?
Aye, that's the
That's
sad part about it.
Aye. That's the only downfall. I was like, he scored a brilliant goal like that, and then he gets injured. This is why I hate international breaks, when we're just starting to turn it up a bit. But no, I'm proud for the boy. I'm proud for also Calvin Bassey. Got to go out there and represent his country as well. I seen they made him sing and all. So
he had his initiation. He was just in the squad. Hopefully he'll feel at home now. I don't know if he actually got any minutes for Nigeria. I don't know if they have another game either, but even if he didn't, it's going to be a good experience for him. And it's always nice having, if you're a young player, you get Balogun and Aribo there with him as well for the same country. So nice connection with the Nigerians at the club. And then Fashion Sakala as well. Zambia missing out though on the victory. One each ended up. But again, another great goal. Took it really well. And I'm wanting to see more of this guy in a Rangers shirt, because it seems every sort of game, any sort of sub appearance he gets, he's grown in confidence, and it's just going to be a matter of time before he starts banging them in. That's personally how I feel, and it's obviously nice to see him get a goal in international duty.
A Yelter goal yet again. All the players are scoring Belter's goals for me, coming out for the wide position, running all the way in and hitting it. Yelter, and as I said, for me, he's not a forward. He's a wide player. Use that pace. He seems to have the skill there as well, and it's somebody me and you do want to see get more minutes in the jersey. Hopefully, he's in the Hearts team. That's all I'm saying.
Hope so, because we never know what's going to happen with injuries, COVID now. We just sort of keep our fingers crossed to see if everybody will come back all right. We know Balogun went down with an injury, but I heard he walked off the pitch, so it could be sort of just a precaution. We never know, but we can't lose him. We'll talk about that more in the Hearts preview, but The other players on international duty, Roof, didn't have the best time with Jamaica. Nothing each. They drew last night, 2-0 defeat to the USA as well. So not great for him. He came off the bench in the USA game. But again, nice to see him get more caps for Jamaica. And then who else have we got? Scotland, Nathan Patterson, starting the game. Had a bit of back and forth with some people on Twitter. Just not rating the guy, and I don't understand why. Like, I've seen many tweets about what does Nathan Patterson offer that Stephen O'Donnell doesn't. And let me just say that name again, Stephen O'Donnell. What does he offer that Nathan Patterson? They're like completely different players. Stephen O'Donnell's 29 now, captain in Motherwell, and he's, as I said, he's at Motherwell for a reason. Patterson's 19 already, the best in his position in the country. So it's just a non-argument for me. Started the game, which I felt right decision. Steve Clarke actually done. And Scotland end up winning the game. Limbs at the end, obviously with McTominay scoring, gets a big victory. But what was your thoughts? Obviously, but we are Scottish. What was your thoughts on the game?
On the game, Yelter a goal for Israel. Drizzy Drake putting the ball in the net. A different phase album. But no, it was good to see Drake get a goal. No, I mean, I didn't really care, to be honest with you. I lost all hope with the national team. They have Wallies like Stephen Naismith and that boy that was always at Hearts with the long hair.
Yeah,
they're the national team. But in terms of the players, I think we have to class Billy Gilmore still as a Rangers player. I'm sorry, because what a Yelter that came from our academy. Just want to remind everyone that. Same with Nathan Patterson as well, taking runs into the actual box, looking to play the ball nicely through, not being negative with the ball like O'Donnell usually is. Second half, it was all down to Billy Gilmore, really, wasn't it, to be honest with you? And they were on about the passion, the celebrations after it. I mean, you want to see real passion, you can go and see what Gerrard and that were all like after winning against Hibs. So that's real passion for me. I know that's the first time we've actually seen Steve Clarke jump up. Which is all right, but I'm still not really caring, mate, to be honest with you.
I'm not. I know it's hard for me to get involved with. Even a last minute winner, I'm like, I don't know what it is with Scotland. I just can never seem to really get bothered about it. I was happy to see Patterson starting the game, and that was my main focus. Actually watching the game, I was like, I want to see how he plays. First half, I didn't see much of it, but I heard they didn't have the best times out there. Second half, though, he kind of grew into his own. I mean, you've got a 19-year-old right back, and that's sort of a crunch game for Scotland. And he's taking on the runs that he is. He's so confident in his play in the second half for me. And it's just an unbelievable player to watch. And he's only just going to get better and better. He is still a bit raw when he goes forward with his tackles or whatever like that, but he's only going to keep getting better and better. And he's already, as I said, the top right back in the country for me. Like, even at over Tavernier for me, I think he's sensational. Nathan Patterson hopefully gets another run out. Faroe Islands, I would like to see Steve Clarke again go with the strongest possible he could do, because there's 4 more games left of this group. Second's a playoff, first is straight through, and I think Denmark are already sort of going to be the winners of the group. So you're going to need to rely on a playoff, getting the most points you can. And I thought it was going to be disaster central again with Israel. Well, I just thought it was going to end up that way. Finally pulled something out the bag, and hopefully Patterson again can shine if he's chosen against Faroe Islands.
Hopefully. Listen, as I say, I lost all hope with the national team after the Euros. I just don't back the management, but when the boys are playing, I always get behind them, you know. Patterson, as we say, we watched to see how Patterson performs and how he's doing. Didn't have the best first half, but second half he was fantastic. Let's hope he does, but I've got a funny feeling, Jack, that Stephen O'Donnell will probably come in for the Faroe Islands game, mate.
No, we'll just need to wait and see. He might put it down to it's a weaker opposition, but the way I look at it, if I was dealing with anything Scotland-wise, I'd be like, right, it's a must-win game again. You need to just go and play your best team. Because I would love to see Scotland just go and batter a team. Like, it rarely ever happens. Like, seems like a perfect opportunity to go and do that. But
well, both these games coming up are a perfect opportunity to get, for me, 5 goals in each game. But I just with the history and just no way how we do it, tend to play well against the bigger teams, and then teams we should be beating, we seem to somehow just lose a game. Obviously, we should go out there. I think we will do them, but at the same time, I'm still aware. I know for previous that we are capable of a slip up in these 2 games that are coming up anyway. But it'd be nice to see them get to a playoff, and obviously we'll back our nation if we get to the World Cup, of course. But we just preferred watching the Rangers, Jack. It's just as simple as that. Son.
And that's the perfect transition into getting Rangers back at the end of the week here, Saturday. Hearts again, another top game, 2 top sides again at Ibrox. Same sort of intensity is going to be like when we played Hibs a couple of weeks ago. There's going to be Hearts fans in the stadium this time, right enough, which is a good sign. I'm happy to see away fans back in Ibrox. But same sort of message it has to be 3 points, because if we win, we'd end up, I think, 4 clear of everybody, which at this point in the season, even though the results sometimes haven't gone our way or whatever, like you will definitely take that if we can go and beat Hearts and Hibs in the space of a couple of weeks, even though we aren't at top gear yet. But that second half against Hibs, it showed that we're nearly there. It shows if we keep on going with that sort of style, we will get there. Obviously, need to be wary of Hearts. Had a really good start to the season, similar again to Hibs, where I don't think they've lost a game in the league. And it's going to be one we'll need to be careful with. Hearts possess a lot of quality. I think they maybe, do they have a better team than Hibs? I don't know. Maybe similar. They've got obviously Barry Mackay, Andy Halliday, Boyce, Suter, Craig Halkett, Craig Gordon, Benny Beningame, who I'm a big admirer of. Ben Woodburn, obviously on loan for Liverpool, so they've got a really good side. Hearts, can't underestimate them at all. But what's your thoughts going into this game?
It's a difficult game yet again, as we said. Always is a difficult game when we play the teams for Edinburgh. But I'm hoping that obviously there's still maybe 1 or 2 games for international duty to play. I'm hoping there's no slip-ups in terms of injuries or COVID, and we can get everyone back in the door. I think about the players who haven't been on international duty, and I think about maybe it's a chance for them to show Gerrard and the management, like, listen, give us a shout. But no, I'm just hoping we can get the 3 points yet again, mate. As you say, if we can go clear, I know it's performance-wise it's not been the best, but looking at the table, if we go 4 points clear of what have you, then that's what it's all about. That's about the business, Jack. As I told you, it's about winning the league again, making sure that we keep that in the bag and keep
exactly
the trophy where it belongs, sonny boy.
I know we're at the top of the league now. If we beat Hearts, of course, as I said, it's going to be a big step forward for us. I don't know who do Hibs actually play. Hibs play Dundee United at home, so you never know what can happen there with them. Celtic obviously away to Motherwell, which again that's 2 teams in the top 6. You're saying 2-2 for that one.
Oh, I've got a funny feeling.
A funny feeling. So we'll need to wait and see. But it's hard to really pick a team, because obviously Balogun's injury now, we don't know how serious it's going to be. Like, we need to wait until all the other international games are over to really see who we've got available. Gerrard obviously will come out on Friday, speak about the current squad and that. So we'll need to wait for that. But as it is, I'd be looking something similar to what we played against Hibs. I really liked the way that front 3 worked in the second half, particularly, and then even Roof as well when he came on. I thought it worked really well. Midfield options, of course, Lundstrom, I think he's cemented his place in there. I think he's 100% going to start the game. Kamara obviously is away in international duty as well, Aribo. So we're just hoping all these players come back available, because again we need to have a strong team available to go beat Hearts. But I'm behind the boys. I think we can go and do it. As I said, it's a massive game, and I just can't wait to get it back now. Saturday at Ibrox again, and then we move on to, is it Brøndby at home in Ibrox on Thursday. So again, another big one, but we'll talk about that in next week's episode. But just hopefully get the 3 points and get everyone out of the way. That's the main thing.
That is absolutely the main thing, as we say all the time. It's just about getting the 3 points. In Europe, let's start to pick up the performances in Europe, start getting the points on the board, because as I keep saying, I'd rather go out than go into the Conference League. But no, main thing is the league title. It's going to be a difficult game, obviously. With ex-Rangers players in the team, it would be nice to see maybe some old faces, obviously. Happy birthday, Andy Halliday. But aye.
No. Right, that's pretty much all we can really talk about the Hearts game now until it comes around. But obviously looking forward to that one.
Let's get into the main gravy, son. Let's get into what we're here for. Let's
go and do it then. Let's go and do it. We'll rate all the squad. That even includes your players like Robbie McCrory, Stephen Kelly, to what we've seen of them this season. and we'll rate them out of 10 so far because, as we said at the start, it might divide opinion on what we say here. So first off, we'll start with the goalkeepers.
Aye.
Alan McGregor. I mean, that's a man who would have been getting 10s over the board past couple of seasons for what he's done, but start of the season's been stop-start for him. He's been in, he's been out. He's had COVID. Even when he's played, he's not been the sort of Alan McGregor we found to know and love. So I think starting off with Alan McGregor so far, I think I'm just going to go for a 6 this season so far. I just think he's been sort of above average, but I still feel there's much more to come for Alan McGregor. Surely there has to be more to come. I know his age and all that comes into it, but what do you think?
I feel like I'm on Strictly here, going out with the 6s or the 7s, you know. No, it's got to be a 6. I honestly, when I was watching the game for the last thing, I honestly think he might have long COVID or something. I really do. I'm a bit worried about him, honestly. Where is the passion, the shouting, the aggression at his defenders? Where is the command? You know, I'm a bit worried about him, but I've got to agree with you, mate. It's a 6, solid 6 so far this season.
Aye. And then his second man, then John McLaughlin, obviously maybe getting more starts than a lot of thought this season so far. But how many games he played this season? He's played 4, 2 clean sheets. Obviously, he's in the Scotland squad as well. Never really gets a game, but John McLaughlin's he's done all right. I think McLaughlin. I think he's maybe been a wee bit better than McGregor this year, actually. So I'm just going to give him one above him. Give him a 7.
It's funny how great minds think alike, Jack, because we're both going with a 7. Maybe made 1 or 2 maybe mistakes, but overall, I think he has probably been the best keeper so far this season for us.
And then the man who came in at a tough time for us, Robbie McCrory. He's maybe had one of the biggest sort of roles to play in this squad so far this season. I mean, if we didn't have him, like, what were we looking at that time? Like, we played Celtic, we had to get through in the Europa League, and I mean, he's kept 2 clean sheets in both of the games. Never really featured again. But for the 2 games he's played, I mean, I really don't know, because he was good in both the games. But can you rate him higher than the 2 keepers that play more than him? I don't know.
Don't know if you can. Maybe obviously because of the time period. Let's not remember he took a Randy Orton vicious kick to the head in the European game as well. That was a belter of a kick he took. But I was worried about him. I thought he'd get told, on you go, son, go back to the playground or something, because I was, where's Robbie McCrory going? Then we seen him on the bench the other thing. So I don't know if you could maybe a 7, maybe the same as McLaughlin, maybe. But he has made big saves. Obviously, we know how massive the Old Firm game is, but we maybe give him a bit more than just in that. I don't know. I'm going to stick with 7, Jack. I'll give him a 7 so far.
I think you can rate him. See, for the magnitude of the 2 games that he came into, and he just never really looked fazed by it. I think he done well in both of the games. So I think I would agree with you there. 7, I think, is fair. Moving on to the defence end, starting off, James Tavernier, captain of the club. I mean, top player last year. I think nearly top goal scorer. Scoring the goal of the seasons, penalties away all the time. But this season has been different for him because, again, he's been sort of out there, but Patterson's been the man everybody's calling for. Performances haven't been great. His deliveries haven't been great from an attacking standpoint. Obviously, he got that goal for us against St Johnstone, which is a big one. But apart from that, he's been really average this season so far. Very, very average. I'm going to give him a 5, actually. I think he's
5?
Straight down the middle. I just don't think he's been that good at all.
We're not messing about when it comes to the defence, Jack. I'm straight with a 5. I think that's still a bit. I'm going to go with a 6. I'll give him 1 more than you, to be honest with you. I think he's been dreadful at the start of the season, so far anyway. I just think sometimes he can be quite negative, I feel like, as well. And sometimes he makes it run to the halfway line, then just gives it to Connor Goulson and puts Connor Goulson in danger. Whereas Patterson, as we see all the time, it's bombing forth. Maybe him and Hadji, obviously, for the last game, weren't communicating that well, but they were both had the same goal in mind, and that was do something, create something, make sure that it was a positive output. But it's not been the best season. Obviously, it was a fantastic goal against St Johnstone, but apart from that, I can't think anything else he's done this season. And he's one of them that I'm looking at with this international break that I hope when he comes back, because I do expect him to be starting. Jack, I'm afraid to say it. I do expect him to start, and I'm hoping that the positive performances come, but so far it's a 6 for me, man.
I think exactly what you said there. I hope the positive performances come, because it's been a total drop-off this season. for Tavernier for I don't know why. Like, he should be living off the high last season and taking that into his performances this season, but for whatever
But you
reason,
know what
it's just not
everyone's going to
happened.
say? You know what everyone's going to say? It's because he's on Twitch, mate. It's because he's
No.
on.
As soon as MD starts doing anything that isn't playing football, I mean, I know like, that's what you get, but hopefully performances look up, and that's one I definitely do see starting against Hearts. I agree with you. Next one then, Connor Goldson, another one of the mainstays, Gerrard's top boys. He's been out a couple of games this season, and it's been nervy without him. Do you put your rating down to that? Because when we have him, we seem a lot more solid at the back. Maybe at the start of the season as well, before the window shut, he was a bit dodgy. Dundee game, he was a bit dodgy. I think, but when we're no way him though, we just we're dangerous at the back. He's just a calm, cool head. Plays every game for a reason when he's available. So I think I'm going to give him a 8. Is that too high?
That's too high, mate.
7 or an 8. I think a 7 or an 8 for Connor Goldson for me.
I'm going with a 7 anyway. I think I agree with you in terms of at the back when he's no there. It's missing something massive. It's his leadership. I think it's his overall presence in the defence. But you have to look at his lapse of concentration. I would say in certain games, especially as I said, Dundee away. That's when it stands out to me. But the thing for me is just the whole contract situation. I need to know you're committed. You've been fantastic. Okay, you've made mistakes then and there, but I have all the love in the world for the guy. Do you know what I mean? Considering what he's gone through to come back to be a champion with our club, it's massive. I just want him to be more committed. But so far, I'm going to give him a 7 anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think has he been our best defender this season? Probably, to be honest. That's the man we're going to talk about next. Leon Balogun, who he's been partnered with. Probably two of them maybe started more games with each other. Aye, it's because obviously Simpson's came in for a couple. Hollander, obviously before he got injured as well, was probably the first choice next to him. But Balogun this season, I agree with you. I actually forgot all about his performances this year. He's been great. He had a really dodgy start to the season as well in the Malmo games and stuff. Like, sort of a bit suspect for the goals. But since then, he's sort of really kicked on. He played out of position in the Old Firm game, put in probably one of the best performances in an Old Firm game I've ever seen. And then against Hibs, away from home, you're always going to get a 6, 7, 8 performance out of him. So for me, I'm going to give him an 8, actually. I think he has been our best defender.
As I said before, Jack, great minds think alike. I think Leon Balogun's been our best defender so far this season. Pointing out the obvious, the Old Firm game, but I just, honestly, I really do think him and Connor Goldson probably maybe, we know Hollander in the tournament, but I always class Hollander as Bambi on ice. That's the Johnston game was volume, mate. I think they two are probably our best two together. I like their partnership. I think the two of them are solid together, but overall so far for me, he's been our best defender. As I say, I'm giving him an 8. It's an 8 from me. I like your waltz. It's a nice waltz.
And he's a likeable guy as well. Every interview you see in him, he's just so down to earth. He's just a guy you want to see succeed at the club, and I'm really happy he took on the year extension for last year, because even last year coming into it, like straight away he was put into the first Aberdeen game of the season. For then on, you were like, right, Gerrard really rates this guy to be a top defender for us. Gave him the year, and he's experiencing the fans and all that, and I think he's just loving life at Rangers. And honestly, I love watching him too.
And he, even at the after the Old Firm game, the press conferences, that he knows his role. He knows when Gerrard's going to say to him, right, I need you for this game. Do you mind missing this game? He knows what's expected of him, and that's what I like as well. I feel like that's Jermaine Defoe's sort of thing, me rubbing off on players as well. I love that about Defoe, where it's like, we need you for this game. Obviously, you're going to miss these games. Like, just knowing when you're needed at the club. That's what I like about him as well. He is a lovely guy, as you say. So more trophies to come, hopefully, for Balogun.
No, hopefully. And then the next one, then Philip Hollander, obviously out injured for months. After what game did he even go off injured in? What game even was that? Was it no St Johnstone game? Because Simpson came on after it. So Hollander up until then, he was good again though. Like, obviously get the goal in the Old Firm game. He's always really a sort of a more solid defender, I think. When he's on form, I think he is the best partner for Goldson when he's obviously fitting that. So I think due to his injury and all that, he's been missing for a while now. He's going to be missing for the foreseeable future. But then the Old Firm goal creeps into your head, and you're like, dare write him off of that alone. But I think for what he's played so far, I think he gets a 7, 6 or 7 for me.
I'm going to go with a 7 again as well. I remember Gerard saying it was with the Malmo game, it was a Champions League performance and all that for him, but kind of disagreed with that at the time. But no, I think so far, I think that Old Firm goal does just creep into your head, making you just go, do you know what, just give him a 7, to be honest. But I just hope when the guy comes back, hopefully he can get back to his best. But there's moments, as I say, why I call him Bambi on ice, he just slides about the place. It's like he's tackling John Cena because nobody's there, you can't see it, you get it? No, I'm going to give him a 7.
I think that's fair enough. And hopefully, because our centre backs are just going down by the minute, hopefully he's back quicker than we all hope. Because he is a top defender. Like, even going into maybe like the Leon game and that, like, you maybe been a bit solid at the back with him instead of Balogun at times. Like, that's where they two sort of, like, Balogun is a top centre half, but I just feel like Hollander's that guy. Like, if we're playing European competition, like, he's going to shine.
He's got experience level, as we say, with Malmo and things like that. Definitely.
No, definitely. I think the quicker he's back, the better. So, Jack Simpson, a guy who has came to the club and not had the best start. I mean, you even think we've got no centre halves going into a European game, and he still picks Bassey over him. Like, he's not even in the European squad. Surely that has to say a lot about Jack Simpson.
I think it does, mate, to be honest with you. I do feel sorry for the guy sometimes, to be honest with you. But I do have a funny suspicion, Jack. I don't know if you'll hang me with this, but I do see that this guy is more likely going to end up in the MLS or something. I'm sorry, as you're saying that, it speaks volume if he's picking Calvin Bassey ahead of somebody who's a natural left-sided centre half. Even picking some of the youth team before I think Leon King as well. So who knows? Look, I personally think we should just cut ties with the guy. If it seems like one of them that's not worked out, I'll be honest with you. I know he's still young in that, but it just seems like maybe it's done. I don't know, but I do feel
even with the position we're in, and he's still kind of like on the bench or anything. Like,
this is when you would hope somebody would. This is when you would hope he'd step up and he'd go, right, cool, I'm going to slot Matt Five myself.
Because it's like nobody really wanted to be in this position with the defence, and you're thinking, right, Simpson isn't really going to play for us this year because of who's in front of him. They people are out injured, and he still can't get in the team. Like, you think if he gets in the team, he puts in a good run of games, performances. I mean, he completely shifts the opinion on him. But it's never happened, and I don't know if it ever will happen. I mean, I'd love to see it happen because like, he's obviously not had the best of starts, but I don't know. I just can't see it. I think for the games he's played as well, he played Dunfermline. It's kind of a no-shot, 5-0, didn't really do anything in terms of a defensive game. He came on, obviously, to see out a 2-1 win against St Johnstone. He started the Motherwell game, and we obviously all seen that goal where he sort of shot out the tackle. And I think that's really been it this season. He's played a couple of games, and for that, I think it's a 3. I think there is signs that there is something there. But for the minimum games he's played 3 games this season, and one of them he's looked shocking, and then the other 2 have kind of been like no shots. So
you're giving him a rating of 3?
I'm giving him a 3 out of 10. Yes,
mate, that's a bit harsh, isn't it?
But you've got to look at him. Like, what has he done to warrant anything higher than that?
I'm looking at him. I'm thinking, right, is he made? I think that's a bit. That's like dog get a dog, mate. That's.
I think he has been like the worst player this season.
You think he's been the worst player this season?
I think he's been up there, aye.
He's only played, 3 games?
I know, but you've got to take into account what he's done in those 3 games. I mean, that Motherwell one's despicable. Like, the type of defending you're doing for that ends up they scoring that we drop 2 points. And then for never to be seen really again when we need a centre half, we've got one there, he can't get into the team. Like, for me, I don't know.
I'll give him a 5. I'll give the guy that's the lowest I'm going on this, by the way. I ain't giving MD lower than that. I've got a bit of respect for him. I'll give him a 5.
Oh no, I've got respect for him. As I said, I want to see him succeed. But personally, that's just my feeling on him so far. It's out of 10 though. Like,
Aye, fair play.
somebody could get a 1.
Who's going to get a 1?
I'm
We're
not saying
keeping that.
MD will, but it's possible that you could think that way.
Aye,
But
listen, anyone that comes to the club, all the fans hope for them is that they succeed and they can handle it. For me, maybe it's a bit of mental when he can't handle the mental pressure up here. You have to win every game. You must win every game. So I don't know. As I say, I could see him in the MLS. I think he's that kind of defender. Who knows? But I'll give him a 5, mate. I'm not going to be that harsh on the boy.
Well, next one then, I know it's going to be quite a high score for you then. Calvin Bassey. He's came into the squad. He's started probably maybe half the games this season. Let's see. He's played 4 in the Prem this season. He obviously played away in Europe as well. Started a couple of the cup games. So Calvin Bassey's done really well this season. I feel like he's just going to keep going on strength to strength. He's sort of nearly making that left back position his own at times. So I think Bassey so far gets an 8 for me. I think he's been really, really good this season.
Because he's my boy, I'm going to give him a 9. No, I'll give him an 8. I'm the same as you. It's an 8 for me with Calvin. I think Calvin's been, so far this season, I think he's been fantastic. Maybe 1 or 2 moments where you're like, back yourself, boy. You go in for that tackle. But I think he's been fantastic this season. I don't think you can argue with an 8 so far.
No, I think that's pretty fair enough. And then Nathan Patterson now, my guy we love at the club, but he's just not had the minutes that we all want just because of the position he's in. But for me, as I said, top right back in the country. Hibs game, he was really good, I thought. What other games he played this season? Livingston, the Cup again, I thought he was good. Alishkert, away from home he played. So more minutes for him is what I'm wanting going on the rest of the season. I think he's been good so far. So I think for me, with more games, I think he'll get up in the ratings wise for me. But I think a 7 is sort of fair for Patterson at the moment with the amount of games he's played.
Aye, I'll go with a 7 for Patterson as well, mate. I think you can't say anything bad about Patterson. I'm sorry. He should be probably playing more games, as we're saying, more minutes. That would be nice after the break. But we know how Tavernier's the boy. So aye, we'll give him a 7 so far, Patterson.
Aye. Hopefully that bumps up throughout the season. Next on to the midfield, then Stephen Davis. He sort of maybe took a wee spell on the bench for John Lundstrom recently, but has he been that good this season, Stephen Davis? I think he has been. It's just I don't think he's dropped just because he's playing poorly. I just think it's Lundstrom's playing really good at the moment. I don't think he's been dropped because he's been poor. You always know what you can get with Stephen Davis. Always a cool head. Always trying to make stuff happen. Even for your deep line in midfield. Scoring overhead kicks again in Old Firm games and that at 36. So take it out what you will. But I think Davis has sort of been similar. It's just sort of above average again this season. For me, he gets a 7.
I'll give him a 7 as well. And if there's MD for me personally who deserves maybe a wee time on a bit of the bench, Stephen Davis, just to relax the man, let his legs cool up. There's nothing wrong with playing Lundstrom and rotating the two of them. I don't feel like that. But no, I think Stephen Davis has been consistent again this season so far anyway. But 7's definitely fair for Davo.
No, on to Scott Arfield then. Not really seen much game time this season so far. And as we've talked throughout the episodes we've done this year, is it the end of Scott Arfield at Rangers? What's your thoughts?
Been a fantastic servant to the club, and I would probably say after this season, maybe it is time to let him go. Personally, I can't think of a top ping me. You know what I mean? I feel like you've went and gave Jack Simpson a 3 here. I'm wanting to see what you're going to give Arfield here. I'm going to go and just give an Arfield a 5 here because I've not really seen anything for Arfield. I'm going to
give Arfield a 4. The only reason he gets more than Simpson is because he scored a goal. He scored a goal this season, but again, that's not his fault. He's not had much games this season because of the people in front of him. They just are better than him now. So I think there'll be a place for Arfield to play throughout the season. But it's just he's not really had much games this season, and when he's come on, I don't feel he's done anything. So guess that for me.
Not with respect for the guy, but he's probably going to be one of the roles where you're wanting maybe one of the tactic him on, he brings Arfield on if he's moaning about it. And I can just see it.
It's that way all the time and all. The next one, Ryan Jack in the list. Obviously, we can't rate him. John Lundstrom. I think John Lundstrom for the start of the season would have got like a 2 or a 3 or something like that. But the John Lundstrom that we've grown to know over the past month or so, he's been phenomenal in every game he's played. So what are we rating this? Because he's been like absolute dire, but now he's like amazing. But how do you rate that guy on that?
You go with a 7, it's fair.
Just straight down the middle?
Straight down the middle, because the start of it hasn't been the best. But as we said, give him time and it's growing. It's hopefully going to get close, heating up to the 10 mark, the 9 mark. But so far for me, I'll give John Lundstrom a 7. I think he's been really fantastic, obviously, as we've seen in the last couple of performances. I know you're going to go high because it's what you do. So
no, like I get what you're saying. As I said, start of the season, I mean, he would have got like a really low rating. But we've done it at a good time. It's a difficult one to do. I'm going to give him a 7 as well, actually. Like I'm going to like just above a 5 now, like because he's a 5 isn't like, maybe you would have given him it like a few weeks ago, but since then, I mean, he's grown massively, and he's just controlling the midfield every single time he plays. For me, 7 so far, and hopefully he just keeps on getting better and better. Next to him, then Scott Wright. Scott Wright again at the start of the season, I think we all thought, right, this guy is going to be the one. But for whatever reason, he's just been sort of hot and cold. Get a goal in the opening day of the season, very good goal that as well. But he played really well in the Hibs game, I thought. Apart from that, he's not been. He's not been like what you'd be all expected, I don't think, so far.
It's going to take a wee bit of time, maybe with Scott. I think it's definitely there, but I just think it will take a wee bit of time for the guy to fully become what we expect, and hopefully he can become. But I'm going to give him a 6 so far, as you say. Fantastic goal against Livingston, and then a good performance against Hibs. So I'll give him a 6 so far anyway.
I think that's fair, actually. I don't see any sort of other rating for him. I think 6. He's been better than a 5. Like a 5 for me is where I'm looking at. Right, you've been completely bog standard, but he's shown a bit more than that.
Listen, nobody is going to get as low as a rating as Jack Simpson got on this. I'm sorry.
I don't think MD will.
No, we're not doing MD dirty here. So
so 6 for him. Glenn Kamara committing his future to the club, obviously. Gets a 10 straight off the board for that. But in terms of what he's done on the park, I mean, he's always reliable. Like, you know what you're getting for Glenn Kamara. He's a really top player. Big fan of him. For me, Glenn gets an 8 this season. I think he's been, again, just solid.
Took the words right out of my mouth there. It's an 8 for me. Glenn Kamara, yet again, solid. And even just doing that, signing the contract, basically makes him a 10. No, fantastic yet again for Glenn. I'm just so happy he's done that. He's committed himself to the club. Connor Goldson's son, please do it. Just commit yourself. But no, he's been fantastic, mate.
Aye, fantastic. Glenn Kamara, 8. New arrival then, Juninho Bacuna. I think he only got his debut about 3-4 games ago. He got his first start, obviously, against Sparta Prague away from home. But for what I've seen him so far, I mean, like, it looks like we've found a sort of gem of a player. I just feel that, again, as we keep on going throughout the season, we're going to need a guy like him in terms of you never know who's going to get injured or what. And he's that sort of direct replacement for Aribo. If you need some sort of different to what he offers, I think he's a similar player to him. So I think Bacuna so far, I've liked what I've saw. But what do you think?
So far, I have to give him a 6. Just so far, obviously, we haven't got a full 90 minutes out of him from start to finish. But as you say, if what we've seen from him, definitely a player in there. Definitely could be a top player for us going forth. But just to be fair, I'm going to have to give him a 6, just to be fair on everybody else that we've rated higher than him personally.
No, I was thinking in between like a 5 or a 6 because obviously I think he's been good when he has played, but he's just not played enough Like you see him like 10, 15 minutes at the end of a game. When he started against Sparta Prague, we were all excited to see him. He gets subbed off with an injury. Like, maybe being a bit unfortunate with that. But I feel like as we keep on going throughout the season, I think we're going to see some moments of brilliance for this guy. Like, he definitely looks like a flair player. So hopefully we get the best out of him at Rangers.
You've got to remember as well, no pre-season. So just to get the
Nah.
minutes back into him, hopefully when he does get a full sort of pre-season things like that into him, we're going to see a top player there. But so far, I'm going to give him a 6.
I think that's pretty fair. Joe Aribo then. I think this guy has been on top form this season so far. I think maybe a couple of times, couple of games, he's been like, he's in the position he just does too much with the ball, or he doesn't back himself enough for the shot. Like, but for me, I think he's been a real shining light in a lot of what we've done this season. I think he has been one of the best players. So for me, I think Aribo gets a 9 straight away. I think Aribo has been great, and he's played out in the right-hand side as well when we needed him. More sort of in the centre of the park with Kamara. The two of them have been mainstays, and for a good reason. I think the two of them have been really good this season so far. And Aribo's, I mean, he's popping up with goals when you need them. Dundee away, scores obviously. So I think Aribo's been great.
I think Joe Aribo's been sensational, mate, so far. Sensational Joe's, I like to call him. But no, I'm the same. It's a 9 for me. I just think he's been probably our best player so far this season. I mean, what's his pal says? Rolex has got more than one. Well, Joe Aribo's got more than one skill up his sleeve, right? No, I just think Joe's been fantastic so far this season. I think you can instantly tell who's performed so far at the levels we expected him, and I think Joe Aribo's definitely done that, man.
No, I definitely. You know what I mean? Like, I think he just sort of became more his own. I feel like, what's this, his 3rd season at Rangers now? First season when he was at Rangers obviously started off really well, getting goals against Progress and Midtjylland, and I mean you could see straight away he was going to be a good find. Last season I think played with injuries at the start of the season, comes back into the team, sort of never looked out of place. Top player. If we'll be lucky to keep a hold of him.
No, don't cuss it like that. I never want to.
But he's that good.
I know he's that good. I know he's that good, but I don't want him going nowhere. Honestly, this guy's a joy. Every time I see him in the starting 11, I think, thank God. I see him in Glenn lineup. I'm like, yes, even better with Davo there. I love it, but I don't want that guy to go. No chance. I'm avoiding him at all cost.
Joe Aribo, 9, top rating so far. Stephen Kelly then, a guy, I mean,
promising.
When we started this season off, we were thinking, right, this guy is going to sort of feature more maybe than he actually has. You get minutes against Dunfermline, Alishkert, I think he came on as well, away from home, and we were sort of depleted. But apart from that, I mean, the Dunfermline game's maybe the biggest sort of opportunity we've had to see him. But even in pre-season before that, I think he looked really good as well. So again, another one. Hopefully throughout the season we'll get to see more of him, and then maybe even next season he'll break into the first team squad. But and sort of be a starter. But you never know. Still young, still promising, and hopefully, we'll get to see more of him.
Definitely. Listen, Kevin De Bruyne, this guy knows how to whip a ball better than you, son. All right, no. I think he looks like a real promising young talent. It's probably one of them that I wouldn't want to let him go permanently, but maybe a loan. Maybe in January, if he's not going to get the minutes, the competition in the midfield, as we say, is starting to heat up, starting to get intense. It's like a Royal Rumble. Who's going to come out at number 30? We don't know. But no, I really do rate. I mean, I'll give him a 6 so far. This look when he came on that Dunfermline game, we got to watch him. I thought he looked like a top player, and I would like to see him get some more minutes. Understand Kamara and everyone that's in front of him, but when he does get a chance, I do think he does perform for us. But I'll give him a 6, man. That's
fair enough. I think probably give him a 5, just for what he's featured in this season. I've liked the look of him, but I just want to see more of him, even if it is in the cup or whatever. Like, hopefully throughout the season, I think January could be a sign he might go out on loan. Because although Gerrard said at the start of the season he wanted to have him training with the quality we have here in the midfield, like, he'll probably still want to be playing games as well.
Absolutely.
So maybe something that will happen in January, who knows. On to the attackers then. Starting off, Jermaine Defoe hasn't really played this season. He's you've got to take into account what he's doing in the back. He's I mean, I see it in Roof all the time. Like, he seems to be learning for him every single day. Because even that one against Tibbs, he's the right place, right time, anticipating the ball, and I feel like he's getting better with the coaching of Defoe. He came on, I think, one game this season, Dundee United away, obviously wasn't the best day for us. But I don't think you can really rate Defoe, to be honest, because he's not really played this season at all.
No, he's not played this season at all. Just celebrating, what was it, his 50th birthday? So big up the guy. I do love him. I love Jermaine Defoe. See for the goals he scored last season. Honestly, they were some of the best goals I've seen, man. Period. And as you're saying, with the coaching he's going to give our forwards, that's just superb. And I think he's a real leader. He leads by example, man. And in terms of, he just knew when he was needed at the club, and the games that he was going to miss out on just because maybe the quality that we have in terms of Alfredo and Ryan Kent. But no, I'm just going to, you know what, mate? I'm going to give Jermaine Defoe a 10 out of 10 so far for his coaching. All right, he's getting those badges. I'll give him a 10. No,
not got a bad word to say about the guy, to be honest. Like,
not one bit, man. I love him. Honestly, he's to me, he's the kind of guy. See if you went up to him and you just asked him, do you know what I mean, nicely, I guarantee you the guy would give you a picture. Honestly, he seems like just a lovely guy, man.
Even at that, he just seems like if you were sitting, well, I'm a massive Rangers fan, he just sat and talked to you about Rangers for however long. It just seems like a really down-to-earth guy who just loves football, loves the club as well. I mean, he said that many, many times. And hopefully, I know what he said last season, he wanted to finish his career off in front of the fans. Hopefully, we do get to see him throughout the season at some point. Even if it is like the latter stage of the season, we never know what's going to happen. Again, we had to call on him last season at times when we needed stuff, goals and that. So, Jermaine, can't really rate him because he's not done in this season. Say like he's played 10 minutes, so we'll leave it at that with him. The next one, Kemal Roof straight off gets an 8 for me. I mean, he looks a threat every single time he's on the park, getting better and better. I just prefer him through the middle though. But I like when we play him and Morelos together, but I just feel like Kemal Roof is a striker. Like where he plays Sakala up front, I think Sakala's a winger. Roof is not a winger. Roof is a centre forward for me all day long. And I think he scored 3, 4, 5 goals this season. So again, good returning goals. And I think Roof's been good this season so far.
Well, like a fine wine, he just gets better with age, Jack. The intelligence, as I say, in the box. And I agree with you, he is a forward. That's the thing I dislike with Gerrard sometimes is players that we know aren't really made for certain positions are playing in them, and it's just frustrating. Obviously, we know the system he plays. This is a conversation for a different day, but he's been sensational. Fantastic so far this season as well, mate. And as you're saying, the return with the goals has been fantastic. I'm going to give him slightly a wee bit 9. I'm going to give him a 9, mate. A wee bit higher than you. I'm giving him a 9. I think he's fantastic, my man.
That's fair. I think he's next to Aribo. I think the two of them have been really good this season. Like
the Hibs game for me itself shows a massive player he is for us. He came on, man, and he gets the goal. Like,
you look at the goals he's even popped up with. I mean, first game of the season. I mean, that one, when we were talking about Jermaine Defoe, that one is the one I was like, right, he's teaching you well. I mean, he anticipates it perfectly right in front of the goal, scores. 2 against Dunfermline, obviously. A big penalty he scored against St Johnstone. Can he take that away, like, to get us back into the game? Livingston, I mean, poor first half. Hadji comes on, he's in the right place, goal, sort of gets us going. And then Hibs as well gets us back into the game. So he's not only just in scoring goals, he's scoring really important goals for us all the time. And he's always a guy you can rely on.
That's what I'm saying. That's, as we keep talking there, that comes down to the intelligence, as we're saying, he's probably getting for Jermaine Defoe. And that's what Defoe was for us. When Defoe came up, he got the goals when we needed the goals. So I've got nothing but love for him, as I say, in the background there. I know what my man can do when he's playing well. But my only one negative with Kemal is that shot in Belgium, bro. It's probably never going to happen again. So can you please stop trying to do it? I'm just telling you. But honestly, it's all love. It's all love. And plus his dogs on Insta. I love them. Come on. Keep showing us the videos. I just wonder what happened to the foxes, Jack, that were around his back, mate. What happened to...
I know. I've not seen much else from him, but hopefully we see more from him in the park anyway. Because he's obviously great to watch. Then the main man, Alfredo Morelos, again, like sort of slower start to the season. Maybe wasn't back for the start of the season due to Colombia and that, which again it could be out of his hands. Scored against Malmo, obviously disappointing night, but overall we obviously get a goal. Alishkert, another big one to see us through to Europa League. Was that one? Scoring against Ross County, scoring against Livingston obviously a couple of weeks ago, and then getting the winner against Hibs. A couple of assists in there as well. So we all know Morelos has changed as a player for the past season anyway. Like you've seen how he was last year, and that's sort of the forward I think Gerard's trying to mould him into, and it's working. He's again always a threat for us going forward. But again, just want to see more in terms of goal scoring for Morelos. He's one off the 100.
100, yeah.
So I mean, perfect time to do grab that against Hearts, get us a winner there. But what I say, haven't he's been to the club, and again, always a top player to have in your team. Never looks out of place, even against Leon. I felt like he's a guy that can go and play at that level. So I think down to his performances, I think he gets a 7. Just don't think he's been as good as Roof this season, but I still think he's obviously been good. Like, just think there's more to come again.
For the love I have for him, it's probably a 10. But I'm looking at the goals that he has scored, and when as I say, when he came back, scoring straight away in the Champions League game when we needed him, scoring key goals, as I say, the Hibs game there, and one off it. I think a 7 is probably fair because we know how good he can be. I would say in terms of so far, just on play and things like that, Kimaru's probably has been better. So I think a 7 maybe is fair for Alfredo. Just from my love for the guy, I'm going to give him an 8, Jack. I'm sorry. It's the boy. It's the boy.
Understandable though. Very understandable.
Like, honestly, I love the two of them. I love Kimaru and I love Alfredo, but the love the guy has, man. The passion straight away after scoring that goal against Hibs, man. Kimaru's got, nah, get off me. Where's the fans? I'm your Donny. I'm the big boy. So I love the guy, man.
The next one then, Yanis Hadji. I mean, I think he gets a 9. I think he's been as good as Aribo this season so far. You've seen how poorly we play sometimes without him, and when he's not available. And again, I just feel he's been good this season, really good. Chipping in with goals, assists. Like, he's always digging in deep. He knows what it's all about. Like, just love the guy. I think he's a cracking football player. I just wish he's here for forever, to be honest. Love the guy. For me, he gets a 9.
Well, I mean, if this was on, obviously, if it was on Looks Jack, this man gets 10 out of 10, but it's not. It's on football and ability, and this man just gets himself a 9, 1 off of a 10 for me. Top quality, mate. As I say, back him all the time. Backed him, as I say, last season when people were maybe having a go at him for unnecessary reasons, in my opinion. He was chipping in with goals and assists, and this season, man, he's just doing the business. He's honestly top player. Top football player in that goal, as we say, scoring international. To do that, a Champions League winning defender. I don't know if Rudiger was in the World Cup winning team, but to do that, a top-notch team anyway, just shows you the quality we've got there. And as I say, big dollar bills come with players like that. So that's all I'm saying.
No, I can't speak highly enough for the guy. I mean, he might not have the numbers to maybe match. He's only scored 1 goal in the league, but just looking through his performances this season, I mean, he's been sensational for me. But the thing that annoys me about Hadji at times is see when he plays bad. Like, I mean, I think he's like the worst player in the park. Like that's maybe something to look at. But I don't think he's really had a sort of horrible game this year.
The thing that I really look at him is something like that. The Firmland game, as I say, man, you could see that he just wanted the ball. He wanted to do stuff. He was wanting to get on it. And as you say, probably he knows when he's, as you said to me after that game, like, you know when he's had a bad game, and he'll probably come out and he'll admit it. But when you know when he's had a good game, you know. So I just think he's a top player, man. Top guy. And as I say, man, you'd be stupid not to market him on with everything. I'm telling you, all the kits. You understand? We're going to make more fans like that way.
I know, a lot of love for him. But the next one, you said there wasn't going to be any lower than a 3. Brandon Barker.
Oh, come on. You really gonna do that guy dirty like that?
No, he's not played this season. Like, again, you can't rate him. He's not done anything this season, so we'll leave it at that. Another one then, similar to maybe Tavernier, but when he's been out the team with injury, like you maybe notice it a lot more, is Ryan Kent. Got injured obviously against Leon. He's been holding on to an injury for a while. Played through a pain barrier to start the Old Firm game and that. So, I mean, a lot of respect to the guy. We've talked about that on the podcast pretty often, but down to his performances this season, no goals. Not really looked like the Kent. Again, we all know and love that consistency is maybe still a bit of a problem. But what's your thoughts?
Just as I say, we've talked about it before, but I've got a lot of admiration and respect for the guy. If he's been playing through an injury, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to be a mystic mark here. I'm going to predict it. This guy comes back, he's going to tear it up. I'm telling you. I've got a funny feeling in my stomach. This guy fully rested, recovered, ready to go. We're going to get a 10 out of 10 Ryan Kent. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. But so far, as we're saying, probably not the best. But I think if he's just been playing through with an injury, man, I've got to take my hat off to him. As I say, majority of players probably are, but I'm hopeful Ryan Kent when he comes back after his injury. Same with Hollander, that they both come back and it's 10 out of 10 performances. But especially him and how important and crucial he has been for his time up here. I think that would be massive if he comes back and just performs.
Nah, and I hope he does. And he's the type of player to do that. Like, he just comes straight back into the team, starts lighting up, and then maybe after 5 games drops off again, and then comes back. Like, he's so weird with that consistency, and he's been the same all the time he's been at Rangers.
I told you what you tell him. You tell him you're playing Celtic all the time, and the boy turns up, man.
I mean, he was unlucky, to be fair, in the Old Firm game. He didn't get himself a goal, hit the post. Maybe the best he's sort of played this year in that Old Firm game. But for me, I just don't think when he's played, he's been as good as we all know he can be. Like, he's maybe one of the most technically gifted players at the club. And we need to see the best of him. So I think he gets a 5 so far this season anyway.
I'd say so. I'd just say lay off the Doritos, lay off the crisps. That's all I'd say. Why are you posting me crisps? No,
I know he's a weirdo, an absolute weirdo, yeah, guy. But aye,
love him, man.
Hopefully he is back after this international break. It'd be a good boost again for us if he's back involved. So we'll wait and see. But I think a 5 is a bit fair for Kent so far. And finishing off then, Fashion Sakala, another new arrival. Again, injury stricken sort of start to the season for him. Gets his first goal against Motherwell. And again, he's looked bright sort of every single time I've seen him. Always try to take men on, always try to do something going forward. So again, as we said, just we want to see more of him for a starting perspective. Obviously, want to see him get more goals as well. So hopefully that'll come.
Hopefully, as I say, to me, he's just his pace, man. That's the first thing that stands out about him for me is his pace. He is rapid. Honestly, I wouldn't like to race him to the chippy. I tell you something. No, I just think he's a wide player, as we're saying with Kemar as well. Definitely a forward. He's definitely a wide player. So far, I've enjoyed seeing him. As I said, first goal against Real Madrid, and then getting the Motherwell one as well. I count the Real Madrid one. I'm telling you, I'm counting it. No, so far for this thing, what I've seen him, I'll give him a 6. I think a 6 fair, man. To be honest with you, as I say, we need to see him start more for me. As everyone was saying, it was as good as it and heartwarming the interview was that he did, and it was really, it made you just appreciate. I think me especially, it made me appreciate my life, appreciate people in it, that his journey, his story to get to where he is. No substitution for hard work, son. So I've got a lot of love and respect for him. I'm just hoping we can get more minutes and give us 10 out of 10 performances. Hopefully there's more great nights with young Fashion Sakala.
And he's, again, totally differently what we have to offer. If Gerrard is going to see him as a striker, like, he's just got that raw pace that Gerrard started him in Europe for that reason. Like, hit teams in the counter-attack. Perfect for that sort of situation. I think he might start the majority of the away games in Europe for however long we stay in the competition. But I think he's definitely something there. And I just don't want to see the fans get on his back for not scoring straight away. Like, doesn't just happen straight away. Takes time. Like with Lundstrom, I feel like he's going to again be the level. A Lundstrom eventually.
What you said there, that's his journey. It took time. It takes time with players, man. You can't just expect performances to come straight away. Lundstrom, as you said, shining example. Wasn't the best. It takes players time to develop into the structure that they're in, the environment, everything. So, as I say, I expect nothing but positive going forth for a lot of these players. And obviously, it's a shame that we haven't been able to see the other midfielder that we signed, obviously, with the heart condition. And things that I forgot his name at the top of my head, but hopefully he can start to come into the team maybe a bit more. That'd be nice to see him play.
No, again, another one. Hopefully, with time, we'll be able to see him, because I don't want this guy just to obviously not be able to play football with the condition he's got. So hopefully everything's all right with him. I would like to see more sort of dialogue for Gerrard in his press conferences and that about the injured players. Like, we don't hear the situation with Ryan Jack, Nnamdi Offerboa, like Kent was even up with him. Like, we don't really hear much for the club about it.
Something that I'm thinking on, I would hope would be happening maybe with that lad is maybe somebody like Connor Goldson, who has had issues with his heart, maybe sort of keep him up to date with him and talking to him. I just think Connor Goldson's a great. I think he's really the captain, to be honest with you. I know people going about Tavernier, but man's vocal for the first minute to the last minute for me, and that's crucial. That's a captain, that's a leader for me. So that's why I'm just so like, sign the contract, bro. What's the issue? You'll lock him in with him until he's signed.
He's been here like nearly 4 years, going on to, if he stays, to people are speculating he might go in January, which that's worst case scenario. But then people are thinking, right, maybe the Champions League is more valuable than him, because we're going to get the amount of money for going into it. So maybe we can let him go on a free at the end of the year. But sign the contract, man. Like, I know you want to go and experience, try to get into the England squad and all that. Like, he's well within his rights to go and do that. But I mean, he's just been keep him here for the rest of his career. I feel like if he stays here for until he's about mid-30s or that, another 6-7 years out of him, like, he goes down as a legend of the club. Like, you surely there'll be dialogue about that as well. Like, if you stay, you're going to be a legend. Like, there's going to be a lot to think about.
That's the problem nowadays. Is, do you know what I mean? All footballers see is, oh well, if you play in the Premier League, and even if you play for a bang average team, you've got a chance of getting in the England squad. I just think it's really unfair on players like him, Tavernier. Look, you're looking at everyone else. They must look at everyone else when they're away in international duty and be like, that would be awkward. Do you know what I mean? But he's been, as I say, playing with Brighton. He's been in the Premier League. He's done that. Like, stay up here. You're a part of something. You're a part of something very special. You get European football. That's something that they can't guarantee in the Premier League. And it's going to be even more difficult now with what's happened with Newcastle. So I just really want the guy to stay. As I say, he's a leader. All right, maybe concentration levels sometimes get thrown out the book. He's got a slip in him, but I think for what he's performed for, as we say, last season, and even when we're looking for a centre half this season, he's still the first guy in the team sheet, and you can see why Gerrard constantly picks him. So sign the goddamn contract, son. You ain't going nowhere. Please don't.
I know, but rating Sakala then. We'll just go back to that before we finish. Sakala, for me, again, I think he gets a 6, sort of straight off. He's been good in flashes, but I think again he's been poor at times as well. But he just needs game time, more games.
And listen, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm telling you right now, I've got a funny feeling Ryan Jacko, the return of the Jack, might be on the bench for the Hearts game. I've got a funny feeling he might just make the bench for the Hearts game.
I mean, that'd be massive.
I'm seeing him posting on the story about nothing feeling better. Wait till you're in front of a full capacity Ibrox. He knows there ain't a better feeling than that. So
no,
get guys like Jacko tying him down and telling him, "Yo, Connor, you ain't going nowhere. Never mind the Premier League. It's all about money now, son. Premier League's done. It's gone. It's no real football anymore. Come on."
I know, but we'll just wait and see. But that's sort of the ratings. It was quite hard to pick a few of them. A lot sort of just above average, maybe a few below, but it is what it is. Hopefully when we're doing this at the end of the season, have these on 10s, like, no matter what happens at the end of the year, hopefully we just win the league. Hopefully we get some cups in there. Turn it around in Europe.
6 at the end of the season.
If we win the league this year, Jack Simpson gets a 10. I don't even care. Like that, he gets a 10. So we'll just need to wait and see what happens. It's a lot more difficult this season for I don't know what reason. We're just not really hit the heights that we know we can. But hopefully it's starting to turn in our favour, and hopefully against Hearts, as we said, we spoke about, we get another 3 points. So I think that's really all I had to talk about today. If there's anything else you'd like to say.
There's always something I like to say at the end of it, Jack. You know that. No, I just really want to big up my guy Greg Stewart, whatever he's doing. Big up the Greg Stewart.
Yeah, no, you can't go past an episode without mentioning him.
There is something I wanted to say. I was bigging up somebody else that hopefully comes back in the door in January, got his first goal. My man Nico Katic.
Nah, Katic.
I seen the emotion after he scored that goal, and I thought, let's get you back at Ibrox, son, where you belong. Honestly, let's get you back.
Definitely.
Get him back, send Simpson out. MLS teams can take him.
Do you know what I'm thinking? Did we rate Borna Barisic?
No, I forgot all about
Did we rate Barisic?
I'd give Barisic a 7. For the games he's come in, I'd give him a 7.
You're giving Barisic a 7?
I'll give Barisic a 7, aye.
You?
Me.
You, of all people, are giving Barisic a 7?
Yes.
I was going to give Barisic a 6.
I'll give him a 7. I think when he's come in, he performed well in that Old Firm game for me. And when he has played, I think he's been decent defensively. Needs to stop letting the man have the ball and somebody's behind him. Like as I said, Dave will call him out in the European game, Leon game a bit. But he just gives a guy too much time. Get straight in, make a tackle, get aggressive with the guy, get in his face. But I'll give him a 7.
I nearly forgot about that one there. But I think in between that sort of...
let's be honest, that's somebody probably, maybe no in January, but in the summer times probably, it looks like it's probably maybe his calling card to be going, to be honest.
No. So, again, we'll wait and see, but there is always something we had to add at the end, so that was that. If you did enjoy, as always, if you'd like, subscribe to the YouTube channel and share about if you're listening anywhere else, that'd be much appreciated. But we'll be back next week with our thoughts on the Hearts game and everything else coming up, so we'll see you then.